Cool. You mentioned that you've now kind of embraced your fighting style completely now, and you're not trying to be something that you're not. Was that defeating Glasgow like the moment that really clicked for you, or is it something that's sort of developed over the last few fights?
Yeah, Glasgow was definitely that moment of changing my life. Like, I remember going to fight Tyson Bearjew at 209 and having confidence in my stand-up. Like, this is crazy. Like, I was going in there thinking, right, a couple of jabs, a couple of crosses, a couple of slips. We'll see this out, we'll be in the MGM in no time, right? Didn't work that way. And the same in Glasgow, I had this in my head that I was going to strike. I was working with different striking coaches, was having confidence in my striking. Like, I have the ability to strike. It's not like it's non-existent. Just, you need to lean into what's good at, what you're good at. And Glasgow was that kind of time where you're like, why didn't you just take him down? Why didn't you bring him into your expertise? Why would you fight somebody on their home turf, in their style of fighting? It doesn't make sense. And for me, I had to learn that the hard way, and it was getting knocked out.
Yeah, and you mentioned the whole top trumps thing and like the skill discrepancy in terms of striking. You could flip that for the grappling.
Yes.
But every fight starts standing up, right? So the onus, I guess, is on you to get the fight to the mat, because Volkan probably isn't going to want to take it down there. So how do you go about bridging that gap and sort of getting to a point where his punches don't have the same leverage and you can actually get him to the mat?
It comes down to watching his footage, watching how he moves. People don't change that much. If you watch my first fight to current fights, people move the kind of same way. They don't develop massive amounts of skill over a short period of time. So he's still going to be doing the exact same thing. And I'm not saying what he's doing, because what he does, he's very specific in what he does, and he's very, very good at it. That's why he fought for the title. That's why he was fighting Cormier. That's why he's still in the mix. But watching his footage and drilling that stuff and drilling it and drilling it and drilling it, and it's like drillers make killers, and it's the famous Bruce Lee quote is like, I'm going to butcher it, it's like, don't fear the man that does 1,000 kicks once, fear the man that does one kick 1,000 times. And it just comes down to finding what you're going to do and just drilling it until it becomes your bread and butter, until it becomes your muscle memory, until it becomes, the minute you take a shot, you know exactly where you're going. And it's the same as jiu-jitsu, we do the exact same thing. We spend a long period of time learning our set, move, so then it becomes set nature to you. And I believe that's what I did for this camp. I know what he's going to do, he knows what I'm going to do, and it's like, right, who can employ the game plan the quickest?
Yeah, Volkan's got his knockout punch power. Your knockout is your triangle, right?
Yeah.
That's your go-to. That's the thing that's got you so many wins in the UFC. Which one of those triangle finishes for you was the most satisfying? Was it the first, the one against Ankalaev, or was it the last one potentially against Krylov?
It's tough, because the one in London, that first time in London, was the fourth fight in my contract. It was the first contract that I ever signed for the UFC. I'm coming off 2 losses, doubts in the head, I shouldn't be here, you're always doubting your abilities, I shouldn't be in the UFC, you're a guy from Scotland who's flipped his way to get here, and then last second he just flicks it again. And I remember standing up and just thinking, like, it changed my life. So for me, yeah, I think that's the guy. That has to be the guy. That's the moment that changed my life. I know I say Glasgow was the moment where I realised that I need to lean into my strengths, but that's the moment it's like, right, Paul, you deserve to be here. You just beat the guy who they're tipped to be the next big thing in the light heavyweight division. And even if you look at his rise now, like, he's an absolute stud. He's knocking people out, he's submitting people. Well, he's not submitting people, he's knocking people out, and he's taking them to decisions. He didn't do that to me. Then he knocked me out, took some of his best shots, and I managed to still submit the Dagestani destroyer. And like, right now, there's rumours going about in Dagestani that, like, you heard of the boogeyman? It's the Bearjew. Kids look under their bed and ask their dad to look under, and the dad has to ask the mum to look under because the dads are shitting themselves. They're like, is the Bearjew there? Because in Dagestani, like, I think I've taken 3 Russians at the moment, so I'm the boogeyman in there.
You're not going to tell us what Bearjew means, are you?
No.
Every time we ask you, you say you
No.
You're still keeping that one.
Look under the bed, maybe you'll...
Yeah. Final one, just sort of tying back to what you were saying there. You mentioned almost like that imposter syndrome that you had earlier on in your UFC career. Is that all in the bin now?
Yeah, it's always going to be there because you're always going to doubt your own abilities, and the only way to do it, the only way to like improve it, is to constantly work with the best that you can get. Like training with Tom Aspinall, training with guys who are better grapplers than you, exchanges in boxing, going to boxing gyms, and that's only going to improve it because you're always going to be like, oh, am I good enough to be here? It's always going to be there. I imagine it's people who get really good jobs and they're like, I've kind of fluked myself into this, I shouldn't really be here. Like, there's always going to be times, it doesn't matter what sport you're doing or where you are in life, there's always going to be times where you're going to be doubting yourself. And I think it's a good thing to have. I think it's a thing to keep you grounded. Whereas if you're so arrogant, you're like, no, I can't be touched in the world of work or in the world of sport, then that's where you're going to fall very hard.
Brilliant, thank you.